My name is David Vance, I'm 45, and I destroyed 2 lives with the help of my golden retriever. Some might call it justice. I call it Tuesday. 20 years at Axiom Technologies had built me a life most men would envy. Executive Vice President of Strategic Development, the kind of title that came with stock options, a corner office, and the constant weight of other people's expectations. I'd climbed every rung of that corporate ladder, survived 3 CEOs and countless restructurings, built something I could be proud of. Something stable. Jessica and I met in college. She was studying art history while I was grinding through business school. We were opposites that somehow fit, her creative chaos balancing my structured ambition. After graduation, we built our life methodically. Marriage at 24. Career advancement through my 30s. The custom home in Oakwood Heights at 38. No children, Jessica's choice, which I'd accepted, but we had Buddy, our golden retriever with soulful eyes and endless enthusiasm. For 20 years, I believed we were solid, unbreakable, the kind of marriage people pointed to and said, "That's how it's done." I was a fool. It was an ordinary Saturday in early March. The quarterly reports needed review before Monday's investor meeting, so I'd locked myself in my home office while Jessica was supposedly at her yoga class. Buddy had been restless all morning, pacing and whining at my door until I finally let him in. He bounded toward me with something clamped in his jaws, tail wagging furiously. "What have you got there, boy? Another casualty?" I laughed, expecting one of his destroyed chew toys. When I pried the object free, my blood turned to ice. Men's boxer briefs. Expensive Calvin Klein. Charcoal gray with a distinctive red waistband. Not mine. Definitely not mine. I'm an analyst by profession. My mind immediately began cataloging facts. I wear Hanes, always have. These were medium. I wear large. The fabric was worn but not threadbare, suggesting regular use. There were no laundry tags, meaning they weren't new purchases still in packaging. And most importantly, they were in my house, my sanctuary, where no other man's underwear should ever be. The implications slammed into me with the force of a freight train. 20 years of assumed fidelity crumbled in my hands as I examined this piece of fabric like it was evidence at a crime scene. And it was, wasn't it? The murder of trust, the death of everything I believed. When Jessica came home that evening, she seemed different. I'd never noticed before, but suddenly every detail screamed betrayal. The way she checked her phone with secretive little smiles. The unfamiliar song she hummed while preparing dinner. The extra attention to her appearance for a simple yoga class. "How was your day?" I asked, my voice surprisingly steady despite the hurricane raging inside me. "Fine. The usual," she replied, barely looking up from chopping vegetables, though I caught the slight tension in her shoulders. I held Buddy's discovery until after dinner, when we were sitting with our customary glasses of wine. I placed the underwear on the coffee table between us, watching her face with predatory focus. "Buddy found these today. Any idea where they came from?" I asked. Her reaction was a masterclass in casual dismissal. A quick glance, a shrug, then back to her wine. "Probably fell out of someone's laundry basket at the dry cleaners. You know how windy it's been," she answered smoothly. The lie was so smooth, so practiced, I almost admired it. Almost. "Interesting theory," I said, swirling my Cabernet. "Except we don't use that dry cleaner for underwear. And these aren't my brand or size. David, are you actually accusing me of something?" She shot back, her indignation perfect. Just the right balance of offense and innocence. How many times had she pulled this act before? How long had I been blind? "Just asking a question," I answered, retreating strategically, filing away her response like evidence in a case building against her. That night, I lay awake, studying Jessica's sleeping face in the moonlight. The gentle curve of her cheek, the flutter of eyelashes against skin, features I'd memorized over decades, but now seemed to belong to a stranger. Beside our bed, Buddy whimpered softly, as if sensing the seismic shift beneath our household's foundation. "You found a present, Buddy?" I whispered as Jessica slept peacefully beside me, unaware of the storm gathering. "And soon I'll have one for her too." 20 years in corporate America teaches you one crucial lesson. Never make decisions without data. Emotions cloud judgment. Assumptions lead to failure. Only evidence, cold, hard, irrefutable facts, deserves action. The next morning, Sunday, I called Vincent Henley. We'd been roommates at Northwestern before life took us in different directions. While I climbed the corporate ladder, Vincent built Sentinel Security into Chicago's premier private security firm. "David! Long time, man. What's up?" His voice boomed through my phone as I paced our backyard, far from Jessica's ears. "I need your help, Vincent." "Discreetly," I said, keeping my tone even. "There's been a string of break-ins in our neighborhood recently." "Jessica's been nervous." The lie flowed smoothly, but the acid of truth burned in my chest. There hadn't been a break-in within 10 miles of Oakwood Heights in years. Say no more. "Home security is what we do best." "When works for you?" he asked. "Today, if possible." "While Jessica's at her book club," I replied. Vincent whistled. "Must be some serious concerns to need Sunday installation." "You have no idea," I answered grimly. 4 hours later, Vincent's unmarked van pulled into our driveway. His team, 3 professionals in plain clothes, carried equipment that looked like standard security gear. Only Vincent and I knew what we were really installing. "State-of-the-art stuff," he explained as we walked through my house. "Motion-activated 4K resolution, night vision. Everything backs up to cloud storage and streams directly to your phone. You'll see everything from anywhere. We placed cameras strategically. Living room, covering both entrances. Kitchen, focused on the island where Jessica took most of her private calls. Hallway, capturing anyone moving between rooms. And yes, the bedroom. Every angle covered. Every possible interaction documented. This feels wrong, I admitted, as Vincent installed the bedroom camera. He paused, hand on the tiny lens that would soon witness my marriage's final moments. "Look, David, you didn't say much, but I've known you 25 years. You wouldn't do this without reason." He squeezed my shoulder. "Whatever you're looking for, or afraid of finding, at least you'll know the truth." Truth. Such a simple word for such a devastating concept. When Jessica returned from book club that afternoon, she barely noticed the small changes throughout our house. She was distracted, cheeks flushed, eyes bright with a vitality that wasn't for me. I watched her check her phone 17 times in 1 hour, smiling at texts she quickly deleted. The waiting became psychological torture. Every night, I reviewed footage like a man obsessed, watching Jessica move through our home, cataloging suspicious behaviors with clinical precision. She took longer showers, bought lingerie I never saw her wear, spent hours on phone calls that ended abruptly when I entered rooms. I found myself analyzing our entire marriage through this new lens. Were there always signs I'd missed? The unexplained late nights at book club that left her energized rather than intellectually stimulated? The sudden interest in fitness that kept her out of the house for hours? The way she used to light up when her phone buzzed, then quickly dim when she saw it was me calling? Work became my sanctuary, the one place where reality still matched my expectations. I led meetings, approved budgets, mentored junior executives, all while carrying the crushing weight of suspicion. My colleagues praised my focus and dedication, having no idea I was simply running from the implosion of my personal life. Buddy became my only source of genuine connection. The golden retriever seemed to sense my anguish, staying close, offering silent companionship during my darkest moments. During our late-night walks, I found myself confiding in him. "You knew, didn't you, boy?" I whispered as we circled the neighborhood at 3 a.m., insomnia driving us both from the house that no longer felt like home. "Dogs always know. They can smell deceit. 1 week passed, then 2. My investigation grew more sophisticated. Screenshots of Jessica's changed behaviors, documented timeline of suspicious activities, cross-references of her appointments against credit card charges and phone locations. I was building a case file worthy of corporate espionage. On Sunday night, March 19th, I checked the camera feeds one last time before bed, watching Jessica pretend to read while secretly texting someone. The messages made her smile in ways I hadn't seen in years. "The truth is coming," I murmured to Buddy, who rested his head on my lap with watchful eyes. "And when it does, there's going to be hell to pay." Monday morning, March 20th, dawned with artificial normalcy. Jessica kissed me goodbye, a perfunctory peck that felt like a stranger's greeting, before heading to her yoga class. I straightened my tie, packed my briefcase, and drove to the most important board meeting of the quarter. Axiom's largest investors were flying in from Tokyo and Frankfurt to review our expansion strategy. As Executive VP, I would be presenting 3 hours of projections, market analysis, and growth forecasting. 20 years of career advancement had positioned me for this moment, the stepping stone to potential CEO consideration. The boardroom filled with power suits and expectant faces. I distributed presentation folders with mechanical precision. My mind split between quarterly projections and the cameras silently watching my empty house. My phone buzzed at 2:17 p.m., motion detected in bedroom. Jessica should have been at yoga for another hour. My gut clenched with the certainty of what was coming. "Gentlemen, excuse me for one moment," I said smoothly, sliding from my chair. "Technical issue with the next segment. I'll be right back." In the hallway, I opened the camera feed and watched my world explode in high definition. A man I'd never seen, athletic, mid-30s, with the cocky swagger of someone who's never faced consequences, walked through my front door like he owned the place. Jessica appeared immediately, throwing herself into his arms with desperate passion, kissing him like a woman starved. The intimacy was devastating. This wasn't a one-time mistake, but practiced familiarity. "Ryan?" She breathed his name with reverence as he pressed her against the wall I'd painted myself 3 years ago. "I've missed you so much." "It's only been 2 days," he laughed, his hands already working at her clothing. My fingers moved automatically, taking screenshots, saving footage to multiple cloud accounts, documenting timestamps. The executive in me processed information while the husband in me died in slow motion. They moved from the hallway to the kitchen, where he lifted her onto the island counter where I'd eaten breakfast for 10 years. Their urgency was animal, their familiarity obscene. They knew each other's bodies, shared inside jokes, moved together like long-term lovers. When they disappeared into my bedroom, my sanctuary, my private space, I forced myself to keep watching. This wasn't just infidelity. It was evidence for total warfare. "Mr. Vance, we're ready for your presentation," my assistant said, appearing beside me with a concerned face. "Are you all right?" "You look pale." "Never better," I answered, sliding my phone into my pocket while my marriage continued to die in high definition. For the next 3 hours, I performed the greatest presentation of my career. I discussed profit margins with unwavering confidence while watching my wife betray 20 years of trust in real time. I answered complex questions about market penetration while she allowed another man to penetrate her on sheets I'd purchased. I received a standing ovation for my unflappable demeanor and strategic vision while my personal life imploded in my pocket. The affair continued for precisely 3 hours and 17 minutes. I watched every moment, memorizing every detail, every touch, every intimate act that drove nails into Jessica's coffin. The depth of deception was breathtaking. They shared a language of intimacy developed over what must have been months, if not years. When the stranger, Ryan, finally left, I drove home with supernatural calm. The analytical part of my brain had already moved past shock and into strategic planning. By the time I turned into our driveway, the destruction blueprint was fully formed in my mind. Buddy greeted me at the door with unusual intensity, sensing the seismic shift about to occur. Jessica bounced into the kitchen, practically glowing, preparing dinner with suspicious enthusiasm. "How was your big meeting, honey?" she asked, the innocent act so perfectly performed it was almost admirable. I studied her with new clarity. Flushed cheeks, bright eyes, the satisfied posture of a woman who'd been thoroughly pleased by another man in my bed just hours earlier. "Productive?" I replied, accepting the glass of wine she offered. "Very productive." As Jessica chatted about her boring day at yoga, I watched her with predatory calm. The hunter observing prey that had no idea it was already dead. "Enjoy these last few moments of happiness, sweetheart," I thought, smiling as she described a fictional yoga instructor's instructions. "Tomorrow your world ends." Corporate takeovers require meticulous planning, and so does perfect revenge. I spent Monday night and all of Tuesday gathering intelligence and preparing my attack. First, the legal front. I met with Stanley Lieberman, Chicago's most vicious divorce attorney, known for leaving opposing spouses financially eviscerated. I brought a USB drive containing selected highlights of Jessica's betrayal. "Jesus Christ," Stanley muttered, watching 10 seconds of footage before pausing. "This is comprehensive." "I'm thorough," I replied, clearly. He removed his glasses. "With this evidence and your prenuptial agreement, she gets nothing. Not the house, not alimony, not even her jewelry. The infidelity clause is ironclad." "Good. Now tell me about assault charges," I said. Stanley's eyebrows rose. "Hypothetically speaking?" "Hypothetically," I confirmed. "Hypothetically, if you caught an intruder in your home and used reasonable force to remove them, that's self-defense. Especially with video evidence showing the intruder entered without your permission," he explained. Second, intelligence gathering. Ryan Mitchell, 34, married personal trainer who specialized in private yoga sessions for wealthy wives. Owned a boutique fitness studio in Lincoln Park called Peak Performance. Lived in Wicker Park with his wife Emma, an elementary school teacher. Their mortgage was underwater. His business was leveraged to the hilt. He had everything to lose. Third, technological preparation. I had Vincent upgrade our system with audio capabilities and multiple backup protocols. "Whatever you're planning," he warned, "be careful. Revenge doesn't heal wounds." "I'm not looking for healing," I told him. "I'm looking for justice." Wednesday arrived like clockwork. I left for work as usual, but returned to park 3 blocks away at 1:45 p.m. Through my phone, I watched Ryan enter my house at his usual time. Jessica greeted him with champagne, a special occasion apparently. "To our future," she toasted, eyes bright with possibilities that would never materialize. "Just a few more weeks," Ryan agreed. "Once David's promotion comes through, you ask for the divorce, take half his assets, and we're free." Their words crystallized my resolve into diamond hardness. This wasn't just betrayal. It was calculated exploitation. I watched them move to the bedroom, then walked to my front door. The garage closed behind me with mechanical finality. I selected my Louisville Slugger from the garage, the aluminum bat singing softly as I took practice swings. Buddy appeared, sensing something primal about to happen. His eyes held no judgment, only loyalty. "Stay close, boy," I whispered. "You're about to help serve justice." I moved through my own house like an invader, hearing their voices grow louder as I approached the bedroom. Jessica's familiar moans, Ryan's grunting encouragement, sounds that should have wounded me but now only fueled my purpose. The bedroom door exploded open under my shoulder. Jessica and Ryan froze mid-embrace, naked and vulnerable on my Egyptian cotton sheets. The tableau was almost artistic in its shock value, their expressions transforming from ecstasy to terror in a single heartbeat. I didn't yell, didn't scream. My voice carried the ice-cold authority I used in boardroom confrontations. "Hello, Jessica, Ryan." The bat dangled casually from my hand, but my eyes promised violence. Ryan scrambled for clothes, pathetic and exposed. "Look, man, I can explain," he stammered. My laugh cut him off. "Explain?" "You're with my wife in my bed, wearing your little Calvin Klein underwear that my dog found." "What's to explain?" Jessica pulled sheets around herself, tears already flowing. "David, please, this isn't—" she started. "Isn't what?" "Isn't what it looks like?" "There are cameras in this room, Jessica. I've been watching you for weeks." "Planning this moment while you plan to divorce me and take half my assets," I interrupted. Her face collapsed as her scheme unraveled. "Yes, I heard that too." Ryan had managed to pull on his pants and was edging toward the door. "Listen, we can work this out like men," he pleaded. I looked at Buddy and spoke the command we'd practiced. "Get him." "Boy." The golden retriever lunged forward, not viciously but playfully aggressive, nipping at Ryan's bare legs, driving him backward with startled yelps. As Ryan stumbled against the dresser, I stepped forward and swung. The aluminum bat connected with his ribs with a satisfying thud. Not hard enough to kill, but enough to announce my intentions. Ryan doubled over, gasping. "That's for entering my house without permission," I said. Another swing caught his shoulder. "That's for f***ing my wife." A final blow to his knee sent him crashing to the floor. "And that's for thinking you'd take half my money. Please, man, please stop," Ryan begged, blood trickling from his mouth. "I'll never see her again. I swear." "You're right about that," I replied, stepping back and gesturing toward the door with the bat. "Now get the hell out of my house before I decide you deserve worse." Ryan limped out, half-dressed, clutching his ribs, leaving a trail of blood drops on my hardwood floors. Buddy followed him to the door, growling whenever Ryan slowed. Jessica remained frozen on the bed, her makeup streaked with tears, her body trembling. "David," she whispered, "we need to talk about this." It wasn't serious. "I made a mistake. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary, Jessica." "This was a calculated betrayal," I interrupted, turning the bat in my hands. "Pack what you can carry. You have 30 minutes to get out of my house." "What? You can't just throw me out!" "This is my home, too," she protested. "Actually, I can. The house is in my name. The mortgage is in my name. And according to our prenup, which I've already reviewed with Stanley Lieberman, your infidelity voids any claim you had to joint property," I explained. I checked my watch. 29 minutes now. She scrambled from the bed, panic replacing tears. "Where am I supposed to go?" she asked desperately. "I don't care. Your parents' house. Your yoga instructor's place. Hell, sleep in your car. Just be gone when I get back," I answered coldly. "Get back from where?" she demanded. I smiled without warmth. "I have a few more errands to run for our special." "Wednesday." The siren started wailing in the distance as I walked out. Ryan apparently called 911. Perfect. I sat calmly on my front steps with Buddy beside me, bat resting across my knees. When the police cruisers pulled up, I raised my hands slowly. "Officers," I said calmly, "I'm David Vance. This is my house. I defended it against trespassers. I have video evidence you're going to want to see." But my revenge was just beginning. While the police took my statement, my laptop was executing the final phase of destruction. The video footage, carefully edited to show the affair without the assault, was being delivered to multiple destinations. Ryan's wife, Emma, his business partners, Jessica's parents, our entire social circle, and most devastatingly, the board members whose respect I'd earned over 20 years. The accompanying message was simple. This is who they truly are. Judge accordingly. As I explained to the officers with Buddy sitting loyally by my side, yes, I defended my home against a trespasser. Yes, I have video evidence. And yes, by tomorrow, their lives as they knew them will be completely destroyed. 1 year later, I survey my conquered battlefield with cold satisfaction, stroking Buddy's graying muzzle as we sit on the deck of my new lakefront property. The divorce was a massacre, just as Stanley predicted. Jessica got nothing. The prenup held firm. The video evidence was airtight, and her adultery voided any sympathy from the judge. She tried playing victim, claiming emotional neglect, but the footage of her champagne toast to taking half my assets destroyed her credibility. Her parents, conservative, Midwesterners who had always treated me like a son, were mortified by their daughter's behavior. They maintained their relationship with me while cutting financial support for Jessica. "We didn't raise her to be this person," her father told me over scotch last Christmas. "We don't recognize who she's become." Ryan's destruction was even more complete. His wife divorced him within a week of receiving the video, taking their house and getting full custody of their children. The assault charges against me were dropped when the security footage showed him trespassing and my attack as justified defense of property. His business partners, disgusted by his behavior, forced him to sell his shares at a catastrophic loss. The fitness studio closed 6 months later, his reputation in Chicago permanently tarnished by social media exposure. According to mutual acquaintances, he now works at a big-box gym in Indianapolis, making barely above minimum wage. His dreams of fitness empire glory shattered beyond repair. Jessica fared little better. With no degree or marketable skills beyond her artistic hobbies, she works retail at a mall boutique, living in a studio apartment on the city's west side. Her comfortable life of luxury and leisure vaporized overnight. She tried reaching out once, a tearful voicemail begging for closure. I blocked her number instantly, Some books deserve to remain closed. Professionally, my star continued to rise. The board members who received my evidence responded not with condemnation, but with increased respect. A man who handles personal crisis with such strategic precision is exactly who we want leading this company, the chairman told me during my promotion to chief strategy. Officer. I sold our custom house, too many tainted memories, and bought this lakefront property with expansive views and pristine solitude. I've dated casually, mostly younger women who appreciate a man of means who values loyalty above all else. But my most important relationship remains unchanged. Buddy, now 11 and slowing down, stays by my side through everything. The only living being who never betrayed me, never lied, never plotted against me. His discovery set catastrophic events in motion, but also delivered me from a lifetime of deception. Sometimes, in quiet moments like this, watching the sunset paint the lake in crimson and gold, I reflect on what happened. Was my revenge excessive? Perhaps. Did Jessica and Ryan deserve the total destruction I rained upon them? Absolutely. Sitting in my new home office, watching Buddy sleep peacefully at my feet, I allow myself a satisfied smile. Technology is very good, boy, I whisper, raising my whiskey in silent toast. But revenge? Revenge is an art form. Some might call it justice. I just call it Wednesday. And so, we've reached the end of today's story. Was it what you expected, or did it take a twist you didn't see coming? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, and let's get a conversation going. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time to join our community. I bring you fresh, captivating stories every day, so click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.